This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Well, this was unfortunate for him yesterday, and I've seen a little bit of the video, and I'm not sure if you can classify it as how the headline screams. But, as somebody that maybe has had this happen to him, where you feel like you've just dropped your eyelids for a second and you get accused of falling asleep. It's really hard if you're a head coach in the National Football League and you're at the NFL Combine. But apparently Aaron Glenn, quote, fell asleep while he was watching the practice yesterday.
Well, maybe he was bored.
You're allowed to be, right? I mean, I would have to think. I mean, you're sitting in a booth, and who knows if it's warm or not, and you've been watching play after play after play, and you've been probably grinding at night trying to figure out who you want to look at and all those kinds of things, and for a split second you fall asleep, and like I said, I mean, there have been some times when I've maybe possibly could have kind of dropped my eyelids for a second on this program and
did.
I had a little bit of that problem yesterday, and I needed to give myself a sugar high, and so I went and got myself a couple of Butterfingers, and I thought of Jamie because I was like, man, here's a classic case of where what I said is opposite of what I'm doing, because I needed a sugar fix. I needed something to kind of get my blood going through my veins, and I went, I'm gonna go get some chocolate. So I guess if it can work on a 65-year-old, and that way it can work negatively on a 6-year-old.
Oh, man, I had not even followed where you were going there, but okay.
So as I was opening that up, I was like, I was thinking you were in my head. I was like, oh, God dang it.
Sorry.
That's all right. No, that's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess when your team is really bad, people are going to
everything you do.
Everything you do is under a microscope, and I don't think he did a good job last year, but obviously I still am just blown away by that stat that the Jets didn't intercept a single pass last season.
Yes.
That is just crazy.
Yes.
Anyway, so the pressure is on him, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I would put too much into this whole story, but at the same time, it's not a great look.
Yeah.
I get it. Doesn't mean he's not working hard as the head coach of the Jets. As a matter of fact, maybe it means he's working so hard.
Right.
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 But I hate the fact that we live in a world where we're going to catch somebody doing that, and we're gonna go make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not wrong. So anyway, it's just the way it is. Are you at a point? And I realize you've got a lot going on with tech baseball and other stuff, your job and family and things like that. Have you spent any time yet following spring training in terms of the Major League Baseball, or will that start ratcheting up here in the next couple of weeks?
I mean, I look for the score of the Yankees game, and really that's it.
Yeah.
I don't even click on the box score, but I do look for the score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
it's that about as deep as it goes.
But is that
now? If there's a headline that says, Yankees lose another starter to injury, I'll read that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But Judge crushes 2 homers in spring training game. Probably not going to click on that.
Judge tweaks ankle, is lost for the season.
I'll read that.
Yeah, right.
Why you got to put that in the world?
Is that a change for you as you've gotten older? I mean, I think that's probably natural, right? Just with all the stuff you have going on and things.
Yeah, that has everything to do with me being dialed in and busy with jobs.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
All that kind of
jobs.
Stuff. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Right. It just makes sense. Somebody asked this question. One more baseball question for you here this morning.
You can ask 100 more.
Okay. JL, why are the games so early in the day this year? To my recollection, most of the weekend games were normally Friday evening, Saturday afternoon or evening, and Sunday is normally 11 or 12 o'clock start. That's from Juan M.
Yeah, so the last, I think, at least 2 seasons, maybe 3, early on in the season, they've gone to the Friday 2 o'clocks because it gets still cold in the evenings on Friday night. And so they've tried to make them earlier so it wouldn't be so cold for fans.
Sure, that makes the most sense.
All right, so that's the Friday night thing. The issue with this Sunday, is that they have airline tickets or flights a flight that they need to get to. And so they asked if we could move the game earlier. And usually it's a 1 o'clock first pitch, but this one's an 11 o'clock first pitch. So it's done for them. That's really why it's done. You don't see this, like 2 Big 12 teams wouldn't ask for it, okay? Or 1 Big 12 team wouldn't ask another Big 12 team for that. They know the deal. They've been to Lubbock. They know what time the flights are, all that. But apparently Bakersfield was really wanting to get out on Sunday afternoon and to be able to make I'm sure they have to fly from here to Dallas, whatever, if they're on commercial flights. And so the Tech baseball team obliged and said, okay, we'll move it 2 hours early for you.
Yeah, and this is...
So it shouldn't be that way. Now, like last Saturday started earlier because it was a doubleheader. So that normally Saturday is going to be 2 o'clock, but it was noon because you were playing 2. So it's a normal 2 o'clock this Saturday, and then you'll get back to the normal schedule of 1. So, and as a matter of fact, next weekend against Penn State, it goes to the Friday night game and not 2 o'clock.
Okay.
And Tadlock is also a fan of playing early anyway, in case, oh, look, here comes one of our famous West Texas afternoons where at 6 o'clock we get a severe thunderstorm warning that lasts all night long, where you can get the game in if you start at 1 instead of waiting until 7.
I can remember when he first took over on Saturday nights, he would always want a night game. He wanted the opposing team to have to sit around the hotel all day long. And we played a lot of night games, but I'm glad we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I enjoy the day game.
Nice to hear from Risa this morning. She's usually one of our normal contributors to the Yates Learning Center chat line. She popped in with a picture of the stadium this morning. She said field was pretty Tuesday morning, Jamie. So
awesome.
Yeah, there you go. She was, I guess, on her way to work this morning early and popped you a picture. As I was coming in this morning, it looked like they got some kind of maneuvers going on over at Jones Stadium this morning. The football lights are on. I always think, for folks and probably students or people that look at the football players, and it's any sport because baseball's in the same way in October, but this is the non-glamour time to be a football player where you're getting in shape and running and, all those kinds of things that are the unpleasant part of Saturday afternoon, just getting you ready for the season.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Drive, time for this day in sports history. Today is Friday, February the 27th, 2026. Here is Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
1959. Boston Celtics, Bob Cousy sets an NBA record with 28 assists. And the Celtics score 173 points against the Minneapolis Lakers.
173. Wow.
How many assists? 28.
28.
I like it. Big fan.
1963, Mickey Mantle of the New York Yankees signs a baseball contract worth
$100,000.
$100,000. Feels like a steal. 1971. On a night, Texas Tech shoots 68% from the floor.
Ooh.
Greg Lowry goes 15 for 18 and scores 35 points in a 103-92 win over SMU.
But he packed the paint that night.
No idea. 1984. Carl Lewis jumps a world record indoor long jump of 8.675 meters.
And then sings the national anthem.
Much later, yes. Badly. With the unmistakable, uh-oh, in the middle of it.
Who was worse, him or Roseanne?
him because he was trying to sing it right.
Yeah, she was trying to be bad.
Roseanne was trying to be bad, yeah. I just remember Derek Coleman over there with his, his warm-up suit on and his face in his warm-up suit. He was crying. That's so sad. And you know what? He probably did it really well, at the house in front of the mirror.
Sure.
Whatever. But, yeah, get out there in front of people and everything changes.
Mm-hmm.
1985, Bubba Jennings scores 23 points, and Texas Tech holds SMU scoreless for the last 5 minutes to earn their first Southwest Conference title in 12 years, winning 59-54. And apparently it's Pick on SMU Day.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
Because on this day in 1987, NCAA cancels SMU's entire 1987 football schedule for gross violations of the NCAA rules regarding academic corruption.
I love the use of the word gross there.
Yes.
Because it's not how we normally use it, right?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's icky or disgusting. Disgusting use.
Right.
Abuse of the rules.
It is National Strawberry Day.
I would love some strawberries. Right?
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
Got my. It's funny. My smoothie is not strawberry today. It's peach on Strawberry Day. We must have run out of the strawberries, but which is fine.
Yeah, sure.
Still very tasty.
Happy birthday to Kate Mara, who's 43. Adam Baldwin, 64. James Worthy, 65. Tony Gonzalez is 50. And Ralph Nader is 92.
He's still alive. Wow.
Well, when you're careful and always put your seatbelt on, that'll happen.
I know, right? Wow.
And we've had some dark things this week, in the last couple of weeks for sure, on this day in history.
Yeah.
So I went with something fun today.
Okay, good. I was wondering if you had more dark for us.
No, something fun. 1935. At the 7th Academy Award ceremony, 6-year-old adolescent Hollywood star Shirley Temple receives the first ever kid-sized juvenile Oscar. The trophy measured roughly half the height of a full-size Oscar. In its earliest years, the Academy of Motion Pictures and Arts and Sciences didn't single out children for a separate award. After the first child actor nominated for an Oscar, 9-year-old Jackie Cooper lost out in the overall Best Actor category in 1931, the Academy established a special award for actors below the age of 18. Mickey Rooney, Dina Durbin, and Judy Garland were among some of the dozens or so who subsequently received the juvenile Oscar.
Do they still do that?
The last actor to receive the award before it was discontinued was 13-year-old Haley Mills in 1960 for her starring role in the movie Pollyanna.
Okay.
And that is this day in sports history.
I thought you didn't want to be a Pollyanna. Maybe in that case you did.
I have no idea what that means, Chuck.
Right, Jeff?
I mean, no one will ever accuse me of being a Pollyanna.
No.
So
What does that mean?
kind of being secluded and confined and, like, I don't want to say protective, but
I always think, too, of a Pollyanna as always kind of being overly positive.
or what am I thinking of then? I don't know. Anyhow, that's the Stand Sports History.
All right, the Stand
So
Sports.
enjoy.
Okay, Pollyanna.
Go get you a mini Oscar.
Let's see here. An excessively cheerful or optimistic person.
Excessively or blindly optimistic.
Yeah.
Finding a silver lining in every situation.
So what the heck am I thinking of?
I don't know.
I think that's a good person.
Yeah, to be a Pollyanna.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want to be overly Pollyanna. Is my point. All right, 6:51 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. This made me laugh. This story from ESPN last night. It's the headline more than anything else. The headline is, Jamie, NCAA eyes big penalties for violations of football transfer window. An oversight committee is recommending emergency legislation to protect the transfer portal window by issuing penalties for schools and coaches who circumvent the rules. They proposed legislation to penalize schools who add players who did not make public their interest in transferring during the January transfer portal window. The proposed legislation will become effective immediately if approved at the Division I cabinet meeting in April. Among the proposed penalties, the head coach who accepts a transfer who did not properly enter the transfer portal, January portal, would be prohibited from all recruiting, on-field coaching, and team meetings for 6 games. That's not going to happen. The school accepting the transfer would be fined 20% of its football budget. Right. Also lose 5 roster spots for the following season, even if it no longer employs the coach who accepted the transfer. That's not going to happen, is it, Jamie? I mean, they're going to file a lawsuit, and then that'll be that.
It feels like a lot of stuff that's really difficult to figure out who's cheating and who's not in that regard. Obviously, like in the situation with the Duke quarterback, he clearly was not in the portal. And I believe until after when the portal was closed, and then all of a sudden he was out of it and at Miami, and so clearly there was a situation there where Miami talked him into getting into the portal, and it was a done deal before he got in, ever got into the portal. So, I think there's, I think that it's pretty clear that this kind of stuff is going on, and that teams are talking guys into getting into the portal. I don't know what you're going to do. If you flip down to the end of that article, if it's the same article I read, then it brings up the situation with Brendan Sorsby, and it almost suggests that it was a done deal with Texas Tech before he ever hit the portal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, considering that, I don't want to harbor this point too much, but that his girlfriend committed to the volleyball program a couple weeks before that. Felt like she knew something was up, right?
I think it was even more than a couple of weeks.
Okay, maybe it was a month. I don't know. Whatever.
It feels like it was longer than that, but yeah. And look, here's the other thing too. You got, I'm sure players or players' agents or handlers or.
But the article says even the agents can't talk with representatives of the school.
But and we all know that's going on too.
How are they going to patrol that? That's the question.
That was really kind of my whole point of the whole deal is like, you can say that you can have all these cabinet meetings and stuff like that, but you're not going to be able to enforce that. There's just no way. The toothpaste is way out of the tube.
By the way, recluse was the word I was looking for.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Also doesn't apply to me. So.
Kind of opposite of Polly.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
With Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. Great to have you with us today on the Morning Drive. Coming up a week from Saturday, it'll be the 74th annual Regional Spelling Bee. That is presented by Sonic and brought to you by Fox 34 and Double T 97.3. For the past few years, we have been sending off, in every case so far, it's been a young man, so it's time for a girl to win, young woman to win, and go to the National Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C. It's a fabulous trip. I mean, you get to go with one of your parents, and if they take the whole family, it's kind of on them. But we provide an awful lot, along with our partner at Fox 34 and Sonic Drive-In, our presenting sponsor, to keep this thing alive. It was going for years and years and years, and sponsored by the local paper, and then they dropped it, and we picked it up because we wanted it to continue. So it's really cool, and I think it's a good sport, and it's a sport of education, right? And so we, in the spirit of that, thanks to our friends at Davis Paintless Dent Repair, are bringing you a daily spelling bee challenge. And so far, it's been very challenging. I'm 0 for 4, and Mike Gustafson is doing it during Tech Talk. I don't know how he did yesterday, but I misspelled the word preposterous yesterday.
We're going to be better today.
Preposterous.
Day before, I misspelled the word schmooze. The day before that, it was flabbergasted. Monday, it was nincompoop. Okay? Mm-hmm. I can spell all those words now.
It's good.
But today, Jamie's got a word for me.
We have taken all efforts for all of us to be better today.
Okay.
Okay? I punched in
Randomizer?
to the randomizer. And the random word today came out with this definition.
Uh-huh.
Attracting notice or attention, or standing out so as to be clearly visible. Completely random.
Let's see. Chuck Heinz, ChuckHeinz.
Today's word is conspicuous.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, you got this one?
Conspicuous. Conspicuous. Doesn't look right.
I don't think you're allowed to write it down.
Yes, he is.
Well, I don't think you are either, but this is not like the national bee.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Like going for some kind of cup or something. Conspicuous. CONSPICOUS. I don't think that's correct. How does it spelled?
CONSPICUOUS.
Oh, I had an extra I in there.
Yeah, you had okay, yes.
Oh, I flipped the O and the U. Yeah. And one of my words that I wrote down, I went UOUIS, but that would have been wrong too.
OUS instead of the I there.
Conspicuous. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's 11-year-old got it right today. But I did not. But anyway, I ran into...
I think some of the words this week I feel like I wouldn't have gotten either. This one I'm not sure.
Conspicuous.
I definitely wouldn't have been confident with what I put down. I'll definitely say that.
CONSPICOUS. Yes, conspicuous. Yeah, very conspicuous of this.
It would be funny for you, Chuck, to also... Not that you want me to spell them, because we know I'd get them wrong, but just you to come up with random words, too, for Jeff and I.
The randomizer.
If you have the same randomizer.
My randomizer is broken. I ran into our old friend James Epler last night at the grocery store.
When do we find out who won between you guys and them?
We're doing that today.
Okay.
We were going to do it last week, but then somebody decided to do a bomb threat at Lubbock High. And so we got over to headquarters,
and
there.
They were busy.
The mothership there at Fox 34.
Apparently
the newsroom was a buzz.
Can't spell if there's a bomb threat in town.
Well, I mean, they had Matt Ernst at the anchor desk, and they were, they had the photographers flying all over the place, and they were providing spot news coverage. Right.
This is why you don't hang out with TV people.
Yeah, they had their neckties on.
But the radio people were ready to go. That's
How
all I'm saying.
long did that conversation last with you and Epler at the grocery store last night? Did your wife die of starvation waiting for you to bring home dinner?
Well, she was with me. We had a little unfortunate kind of slip up in the calendar last night. The comic that we were going to go see?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't.
Well, here's the deal.
Uh-oh.
I had two events downtown and sandwiched. We were the two events were in the middle. Our building's in the middle. One was across the street to the north, and one was across the street to the south. And so I got done with the one across the street to the south, and called the lucky lady. Said, "I'll come pick you up, and we'll go to the deal," because we were going to meet. Anyway, the bottom line is we're walking up, and I'm seeing all these people, and they're kind of dressed to the nines, and I've just got a shirt, just my button up and a pair of slacks
on. Did you have a logo on your shirt?
I did not.
Okay.
Just my white shirt. I'd take my tie off and my jacket off, and thought it would just be cash. And I'm seeing all these guys walking. I'm seeing all these guys with suit coats on or sport coats on. I'm like, I'm feeling a little underdressed. I'm like, it's a comic. What's going on? Well, it turns out that the comic is tonight, not last night. And there was something going on still at the Civic Center called the Nurturing Center event. I ran into one of the guys. I'm like, what's going on here tonight? Because there are a couple of priests walking in and all. I mean, it's like what in the world is going on? So on the way home,
he was not there for the comic.
Yeah, he was not there. The comic is tonight, apparently. And so we're going tonight. Anyway, the bottom line is, so we're like, well, we'll just go to the grocery store and get something, get a pizza or something. And then we decided to vote while we were there because today's the last day of early voting, and ran into Mr. Epler, who was doing his civic duty as well. And so we had a little tete-a-tete there in the voting line, just a little talk, in terms of who's going to win, So we'll see.
So are we feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Choice Woodman's going to be with me, and I asked him if he was a good speller. He said some days. I'm like, okay, well.
What was that word we had earlier? Eternal optimist?
Yeah.
What was it?
Pollyanna.
Pollyanna.
He's a bit of a Pollyanna. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Shelley says this: Chuckles, the lucky lady, and a priest walk into the Civic Center. ... Right. We were going one way, the priest was going the other way. He did. He said,
"Yeah, I think that's not just last night, but in life."
In life, yeah.
I kid. That was funny.
Let's see. Jamie is throwing a no-hitter. Yeah.
I was really confident today. I was really confident.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Maybe I'm picking bad words.
This, Chuck, your randomizer isn't broken. You use it every day. This, strike 5, but my wife is home from a trip, so she's taking the 11-year-old to school. Doubt her radio is on this station. What, the 11-year-old is not trained? The 11-year-old is not trained to tell mom to put it on Double T 97.3?
Especially
what in
now,
the world?
So they can win the contest, right?
Yeah.
They can get them all right.
Yeah.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen. I'm going a little bit off the beaten path today. I'm going to ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Something we haven't really discussed hardly at all. Hey, you asked me a question earlier today about whether if I was paying attention to spring training or not.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you this question today. What are your expectations for the 2026 Texas Rangers baseball team? New manager? Made some moves in the offseason? Is it a playoff team? Is it a World Series contender? Is it a team that does not make the postseason? What are your expectations?
Man, I have none. I mean, you have a new manager. I feel like you've kind of decided, okay, we're rebooting. And I feel like if you're, just as I'm sitting here right now, I feel like if you're a game over 500, that's probably a win. I know people don't want to hear that, but it just doesn't seem like they've ponied up like they have in the past, and that they're content to start with a new manager and maybe a youth movement. And so my expectation is it's going to be a nice summer just sitting in the backyard drinking a cold beer, listening to Eric Nadel and, rain delay theater and maybe a trivia and a limerick or two and story time. And there'll be a trivia question that Jared Sandler will ask, Eric and Matt Hicks. And, I'll fall asleep on my float, and then I'll wake up and it'll be time for the postgame show, and I'll listen to what they have to say about the upcoming series. That's my expectation.
Warms my heart knowing how much excitement you get out of rain delay theater.
I mean, not for nothing, rain delay theater is pretty cool. However, I'd much rather listen to the game than rain delay theater.
But whatever you find to make you happy, Chuck, that's great.
I love the game, obviously, but I mean,
notice in all the things he listed there, the game wasn't part of it.
Yeah, I said the game. I said I'm on my float, listening. I'm in my backyard
to rain delay theater is what
drinking a beer and listening to the game.
Expectations for the Texas Rangers in 2026. Playoff contender. I don't know that they're going to win the division, but in that kind of conversation, I don't expect them to win it. If they miss the playoffs, I wouldn't be just outraged. I think your pitching staff is going to need to show that they can do what they did last year. I think your offensive production is going to need to figure out offensive production again. And you made a bunch of moves this offseason to do that, which is why I think you can be a playoff contender. I don't think they're a World Series contender yet. You haven't spent the money you need to spend to do that. Although, if you get far enough ahead, management might open up their pocketbook a little bit and let you go after some guys at the trade deadline. So, playoff contender is kind of where I'm thinking.
I think I'm a lot closer to Jeff. I think you're a team that's going to be in contention for the playoffs, but maybe halfway through the last month of the season, you're probably being eliminated. So maybe that means you finish 4 or 5 games out of making the playoffs. I think Seattle will win the division. Okay, they were really good last year. Mm-hmm. I think the Astros have probably a little bit better chance than the Rangers do to make the playoffs, but I think they're both pretty equal. I mean, you moved Marcus Semien for Brandon Nimmo, and you got cheaper, and I think you got better. Semien was bad last year. I mean, he was not a great offensive player at all last year. Can Mackenzie Moore, the guy that you traded for from the Nationals, get back to being his old self? If he can, same with Jordan Montgomery, then you have the potential. And I already think you have a really good rotation that I think will win you a lot of games. So I think you're a good baseball team. I'm not sure. I don't think you're overtaking the Mariners. And I think both the Rangers and Astros are in the hunt within the last 2 weeks of the season for making the playoffs.
I hope you're right. I mean, it's a lot more fun when they're in contention and as opposed to being out of it. And we're used to them being in contention. It just doesn't feel like that they just doesn't feel like that they are interested, the owner, in anything more than selling hot dogs, cold beer.
Well, you just put together a team a couple years ago that was, some may use that term, bought yourself a championship, where you went out and bought some really good free agents, and they led you to a championship. So 2 years later, you think he's just bored of that and not willing to spend money? And Marcus Semien was stealing from you last year.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You get the impression that they haven't necessarily opened up the pocketbook to keep. I mean, there were times when it felt like, and this may be somewhat unfair in terms of the last 10 years, but there were times where the Rangers kind of treated their baseball team like it was a small market team. They're not a small market team.
Yeah, and I don't think they've done that recently, in my opinion. Okay, I don't.
Yeah,
I definitely think they used to.
Yeah,
but I don't know. You lose Garcia as well, Adolis Garcia, who's been great, but again, not very good last year. Jonah Heim also gone.
I liked Jonah Heim.
Yeah, I think I think all Rangers fans did.
He was kind of a clutch hitter for you at times. Mm-hmm. Was good behind the plate. I know. Maybe it's just because some of the names that I'm familiar with and I was kind of rooted for and got used to hearing are gone.
I think it's because you're sad that you're not going to get to hear Bruce Bochy in the pregame show.
I love Bruce Bochy. Yeah.
Sitting on Grandpa's lap.
I did like Bruce Bochy. I did.
Ranger fans did. There's a reason to.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Great to have you with us today on the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. We have, as we come to you from the First United Bank studio, take your thoughts and comments. Yates Flooring Center chat line, Visual Edge IT hotline. It's open. If you have a score prediction you want to get in for the weekend, it could be football, baseball, basketball, whatever. We'll take it. Softball, any of those things. You raised your hand. Did you have a question?
I did not.
Oh, I thought I saw you. I saw you move your hand. I thought you raised it. I thought you were being funny for a second.
That's about the limit of my capabilities, just to be funny for a second.
I didn't mean it like that.
No, I know you did.
This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line, then we'll get to basketball. I would just like to share today for a funny story while I was getting my daughter donuts at the donut store this morning. The guy that was ringing me up says, "Oh man, I love your hat. Not too many people know about the Baltimore Dodgers." And my 11-year-old daughter looks up at me like, "Who is that? Nobody's heard of them because it's the Brooklyn Dodgers." That is all I have. Have a nice day, guys. In other words,
wow.
His 11-year-old daughter knew it was the Brooklyn Dodgers, not the Baltimore Dodgers. The donut guy didn't know that. Good for her. That's raising him right, Jamie.
Yeah, sure.
You know, that's raising them. That's raising them right.
Sure.
All right, hoops tomorrow. Iowa State and Texas Tech from Hilton Coliseum. Iowa State is 24-4, 11-4 over in the conference. They're 15-0 at home this year, so obviously undefeated at Hilton Coliseum. In Big 12 play, they outscored their opponents by about 10. This is a team that makes 8.8 threes a game, so 9, and they give up 8. They've won 3 of their last 4 of their last 6. Coming off a win at Utah, 75-59. They lost last Saturday at BYU. Kind of surprising because it was after the big injury for BYU. 79-69. They have a win at home over Houston, and they have a win at home over Kansas. And that came after losing at TCU. So it just goes to show you sometimes the up and down of this league.
They've definitely been doing a little bit of that, yes.
They had back-to-back losses in January at KU and at Cincinnati. So they've got their 4 losses. What do you think concerns you the most about them?
I'll be honest with you, the atmosphere in the crowd.
Yeah.
Plus they're just a really good basketball team. Mm-hmm. It's the atmosphere.
Yeah, and especially once they get rolling, they outscore their opponents in the first half by 110 points, and in the second half by just 33. So, keep it close in the first half, and see what happens, I guess, in the second. For the Red Raiders, they come in with a record of 21-7 overall, 11-4 in the conference. Texas Tech is on a 2-game winning streak after losing at Arizona State, 72-67. They had the back-to-back losses at UCF and at home against Kansas, and then had the early loss, second game of Big 12 play at Houston. Of the 4 losses, and you look at the Houston game, could have won that. It's a 4-point game. You look at the Kansas game, obviously, the 2 threes by Peterson down the stretch. Feel like you had that game.
And you played without one of your best players.
And played without Christian Anderson, and, I feel like the UCF game was just one of those games. It wasn't like a possession.
It's another team that plays really well at home.
At home, right.
Fans get really fired up for a big name opponent, and they got us again.
Yeah, and I guess aside from KU and Houston, both of those are frustrating losses.
I think the one you're missing here is Arizona State.
Well, that's where I was heading to.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I was heading to. That's the one that you look at and just go, that's the head shaker, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, mm-hmm. That's the head shaker. And despite the Toppin injury in that game,
you felt like that the game shouldn't have been in doubt at that point of the game.
Yes, that's exactly right. And then now you're coming off the back-to-back wins over K-State and Cincinnati, and so this I'm not going to say it's your first true test, but it is your truest test.
Well,
of
I thought Cincinnati was.
Yeah. I think Cincinnati was a true test, but this may be because you're on the road, hostile environment, team that's ranked ahead of you.
It's a different level of toughness.
Yeah, different level of
difficulty. Yeah, no question.
Yeah. And so this is kind of one where you go, okay, you go in and win this one, and you go, okay, maybe we have reinvented ourselves.
Maybe so, and I think that would be a message to the rest of the world too, of the rest of the college basketball world, that hey, we may be down one of our studs, but this is still a really good basketball team.
So who do you look for tomorrow? Do you look for because you feel like you know what you're going to get from Christian Anderson, right? I mean, he's obviously got to play well, but he's been so consistent for the year. And then you also kind of look at Atwell and go, okay, are they going to go out there and really try to defend him and keep him from popping the three and run him off the 3 line?
I think the guy that I would like to see step it up a little bit, who I think has been quiet of late, is Jalen Petty.
Okay.
Feels like he's not had a big loud game in a while. And it feels like it would take something like that to pull off this upset.
Okay. He's at 9.5 a game in Big 12 play. And then you kind of look down the line, and your guys that have just made contributions here of late, Luke Bamboye, Josiah Mosley, Leon Horner, and maybe Mariola Quintock, who's kind of gotten back into the lineup after being out for some.
All of those guys definitely need to. Your margin for error is smaller now, so you can't have the games where 2 or 3 guys don't really show up.
Yeah,
and all of those guys are being relied upon to give you at least something. And so, all of those guys that you listed, you need. I mean, you don't need them to star, but you need them to give you 4 or 6 points, whatever, and help contribute any way they can.
One thing that maybe you'd like to see a little bit better on, just to give yourself some extra possessions, is you're turning it over 11 times a game and your opponent only 9 points a game. So can you put some more pressure on your opponent defensively to turn it over? Give yourself maybe a little extra added boost. The Red Raiders outscored their opponents by 105 in the first half and by just 30 in the second. So second half could be, hopefully, pretty exciting.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet973.com.